Alright, so tomorrow we're going to have a review. Tomorrow we're going to have a quiz. Today we're going to review for that quiz. I know some people are not here because of testing, so that's what this video is for. Also, to go back and look at it. So we're going to review for the quiz tomorrow, and then we're going to practice on the back of the review. It's just like the review. So let me tell you exactly what we're doing, okay? We are going to do the front together, right? Everyone's going to focus as we go over this together, right? Then I'm going to give you time to do the back side on your own, which is just like the front side. If you look at it, you're like, dang, it's like the same thing, except just a little bit different. And then tomorrow, I will give you a quiz. That's just like this, but a little bit different. So we do it together, then you try it, and you can ask questions and get help. And then tomorrow, you do it without questions or help. That's kind of the way we're doing this, right? And then the last thing is if you got any missing work, you want to do that, especially right here, the surface area assignment, the one that we've been working on the last 2 days that some people still have not turned in. So make sure you do that. So let's take a look at the review here. Okay. All right. So is everyone looking up here? So you will have to, like it says at the top here, find the number of faces, vertices, edges of the following figures, and tell me the base shape and the 3D shape. Okay? So the only difference about that first assignment and this is that you will not be able to hold it in your hand, right? So this is the shape for number 1, right? It is this, but you're not going to be able to hold it. So you're kind of going to have to look over at this right here and imagine. So let's answer these questions. Base shape. So the base shape is right here on the bottom. What is it? It's a 2D shape. It's a triangle, right? So let's fill that in on the first blank. That base, that bottom, is a triangle. And everyone's writing this down, right? Now, the second thing it says is the 3D shape. Now, just by looking at the paper, okay, so this is gone, you're supposed to notice that the base is a triangle and it goes all the way up here to a point. Well, what do we call it when it goes up to that point? Pyramid, right? So this is a what kind of pyramid? The base tells you. Triangular pyramid. Okay? So, now, from just looking at that shape, we need to answer how many faces it has. Do y'all remember what faces are? What makes a face a face is that it is flat, right? So, I think faces is the hardest one when you can't hold it in your hand, right? So if I'm just looking at this, how many faces do you think it has? What do you think? So here's a visual. Now, you're not going to get this on your test, but here's what a triangular pyramid looks like, right? So if you're looking at it from above like this, don't you see you have 1, 2, 3 faces, and, oh, whoops. Oh, that didn't work. And there's one on the bottom, right? So there are 4 faces. Do y'all agree? No? Yeah? All right, so 4 faces. It's kind of hard to see from this picture right here, but you kind of have to imagine. There's 3 on the sides and 1 on the bottom. 4 faces. Okay, now vertices. What's a vertex? It's like a corner where edges meet, right? So how many corners or how many vertices do we have here? What do y'all think? Not 6. Are you guessing? Corners? 4, right? So the bottom triangle has 3, right? 1, 2, 3. And the very top, 4, right? And so if I was holding it in my hand, I'd be like, okay, look, I can see that there's 3 on the bottom and then 1 on the top. So yeah, 4 vertices. And then last but not least is edges. Now edges are where the faces touch. They're straight segments. How many edges do you think we have? 6, right? So now you can actually do, looking at the picture, you can see there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? You can actually count them on the picture. There are 6, and then if you're looking at it IRL, there's 3 on the bottom and 3 going down. So that's a total of 6. Cool. Now, this shape over here, what is that called? Or sorry, what is the base shape called? So the base is a rectangle, right? And then the 3D shape, so the sides go straight up, right? So it doesn't go to a point. It's not a pyramid, but what's it called? Prism, right? So if the base is a rectangle and it's a prism, it's a rectangular prism. Cool. Now, number of faces. So you're looking at it, you see that since it's a rectangle, there's 4 on the sides, there's 1 on top and bottom. How many faces would that be? 6 faces. Okay, you can kind of count them. The hard part is seeing that there's a front and a back face because they're kind of overlapping in the picture. You have to imagine it. Okay, so imagination. Number of vertices. How many do you think? 8, right? 4 on the bottom, 4 on the top. And the number of edges? Okay, 12. Do you agree? On the bottom, there's 4 edges. Top is 4 edges. On the sides going down, there's 4 edges. 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4. No, I'm kidding. But that's 12, right? So 12 edges. Now, let's look at number 3. Do y'all remember cross sections? When you cut something or you make a little slice of something, we got to look for the key words, right? So, you should put that away. Thank you. So on number 3, for number 1, for this picture right here, the question is, what is the cross section parallel to the what? Base. Key word. So if it says base, and I'm doing a cross section, it's going to be the exact same thing as the base. So what's the base from number 1? A triangle, right? So here's a triangle. If I cut it up here, I'd still get a triangle, right? Parallel to the base, same thing as the base. Now catching this? Keywords, right? So tomorrow you're going to get this right. So, since the base was a triangle, it's a triangle. Number 2, what is the vertical cross section? Keyword, vertical, right? So we are not going to look at the base this time, okay? It might coincidentally be the same, but we don't care about the base. We care about the vertical. So you want to think, what shape do I see? If I'm looking at it straight on, vertically up and down, what do I see? So I see right here a rectangle. So if I were to cut it in half, like down the middle, for some reason, I would still have a rectangle, right? So again, vertically means straight up and down. Look at it. Side note, if you had a pyramid and it was vertical, that you were cutting it, what do you see there vertically? A triangle, right? So just FYI, when you see the word vertical, if it's a pyramid, then you see a triangle vertically. Just a side note, okay? So, number 5. Now we're going to revisit this idea of rotations, right? Now remember this? So, or you remember this. Now look at number 5. What 3D figure is created by rotating a triangle? Okay? So, y'all remember when we took this triangle and I said, imagine that I spin it super, super fast. And if I spin it super fast, you'll notice the bottom makes a circle, the top is pointy. What do I call that? A cone. You have to know that. That's why you're going to get some practice today, and I'm telling you again today. I'll probably tell you again tomorrow, but you got to know. If you take a triangle and you rotate it, you're going to get a cone. Now, number 6 says, what 3D figure is created by rotating a rectangle? So, square is a rectangle. If I take this and I start rotating it super fast, and that's not fast enough, but super, super fast. I get a circle on the top. I get a circle on the bottom. What's that called? A cylinder. Okay, so rotating a rectangle always gives me a cylinder. Okay, so you have to know these truths. Okay, rotating a triangle gives you a cone. Rotating a cylinder gives you a, rotating a rectangle gives you a cylinder. Okay, now on the bottom, 7 for these two problems, we need to know our formulas. This is what we've been doing the last 2 days. Lateral surface area and total surface area, right? So, let me remind you what these formulas are, okay? I'm going to freeze them on the side over here. If you're watching this after the fact, you'll just have to come back to this point at about 10:55. So, back to it. I'm going to write down my formulas in a minute, but what I first need to get for a prism, right? Now, the first one over here on the left is a prism. My two formulas are on the top left and the top right. Okay? I'm going to write down the things I need to know. I need to know the perimeter of the base. I need to know the height of the whole prism. And I need to know the base area of that bottom triangle. Okay? Those are the things that I need to know before I can even do those formulas. Okay? So everybody, let's do the perimeter of the base together. What shape is the base of this figure right here? Does everyone agree? It's a triangle base, right? So, I look at the top. These are my 3 sides. 3, 4, and 5. How do I find perimeter? Add them up. So the perimeter of the triangle is 3 plus 4 plus 5. What does that give me? 12. Easy. Now, what's the height? That's also 12. By coincidence, they're not always the same. And then for big B, capital B, you gotta know, capital B is the area of the base. And my base shape is a triangle. So to find the area of a triangle, what's the formula to find the area of a triangle? Is it base times height? No. It's base times height divided by 2. Can't say this enough, okay? Rectangles are base times height, but a triangle is base times height divided by 2. Right? So let's do that. If I have a right triangle for my base, I got a base of 3, I got a height of 4, and I have to divide by 2 because it's a triangle. So 3 times 4 divided by 2. What's 3 times 4? 12. Divided by 2, 6. Okay? So I have everything I need now. I have a perimeter, I have a height, and I have a base. So now let's plug it into our formulas. So again, I'm remembering this. Lateral surface area is P times H. Total surface area is P times H plus 2B. So let's do that. Lateral surface area equals PH. So what's perimeter? 12. What's my height? 12. So what is 12 times 12? 144. So that's it. Lateral surface area, right? 144. What are my units? So I got feet, and since I'm talking about surface area, please remember, surface area is going to be square units. So it's square feet, right? There's a marker. That's all you got. So, total surface area is a little different. TSA, total surface area, is supposed to be PH plus 2 capital B. Now, does everyone notice that we already did pH, right? We know pH is 144. So when I put this equals, it's going to be equal to 144 plus, and then 2B is going to be 2 times B, which is 6. What is 2 times 6? 12. So 144 plus 12 is 156. So I got 156 feet squared. Using my formulas, right? So again, I got perimeter pH plus 2B for total, pH for LSA, lateral surface area. All right, so let's try cylinders, okay? Let's take a quick look at the notes again. For cylinders down here, lateral surface area is 2 pi RH. And then for total surface area, 2 pi RH plus 2 pi R squared. All right, so what I need is R and H. Do I know R? I do, it's 2. Do I know H of the whole thing? I do, it's 5. So, let's do this, okay? I'm gonna make sure I have a division here. All right, so, lateral surface area is 2 pi RH. 2 times pi times R, which is 2, times H, which is 5. Okay? So in my calculator, all I gotta do is type it. 2 times pi times 2 times 5. Okay? So let's do that. 2 times, pi is next to H down here, pi times 2 times 5. I get 62.83. So let's write that down. That's it for lateral. And that's going to be centimeters squared. And then for total, right, TSA, we're going to have 2 pi R squared plus, 2 pi RH plus 2 pi R squared, right? So this one was 2 pi RH. So I'm going to do 2 pi RH plus 2 pi R squared. And let's plug in what we know. So 2 pi RH, we already know that, right? We did that up here. It's 62.83. But what I'm adding is 2 pi R squared. 2 pi R is 2 squared. Okay? So again, take what you already did, and you're adding 2 pi R squared. Okay? Let's write it down. So I'm going to go to my calculator and do that. I'm just going to take what I already had, plus sign, 2 pi 2 squared. I get 87.96. And that will be my total surface area in centimeters squared. Okay? I do want you to get some practice on the back. You'll notice it's just like the front. Practice makes perfect because tomorrow's quiz is just like this. Okay? So can you actually do all the faces and edges and vertices and name it and do cross sections and spinning or rotating it around and total surface area and lateral surface area? It's a lot of stuff. That's why we're getting a lot of practice. Okay? But the thing is, can you do it? And if you get stuck today, can you ask questions and clear it up in your mind? Because tomorrow is the quiz. You got to be able to do it. Okay? So I know it looks like a lot, but you do it step by step. Okay? So again, do this. Okay? Just like we did. Just like we did. Just like we did. Okay? So this one's a little easier, which is cool. Okay? Let's go ahead and get started. Show me what you can do. All right?